There have been many versions of Ne Zha throughout history, with his appearance and personality changing over time. But one key component of his story has always stayed the same: his defiance of divine authority. Every version of his story revolved around the same core theme: breaking free from the invisible chains that tried to control his fate. From his extraordinary birth to his gruesome death and eventual rebirth as a god, Ne Zha was never given a choice. His so-called destiny was forced upon him by the celestial orders that claimed to be righteous. But instead of accepting it, he fought back, rising up as a flaming symbol of rebellion against the hierarchy. This is the story of Ne Zha, the boy who defied the heavens. The Ne Zha we know today in Chinese mythology largely comes from封神演义, also known as the Investiture of the Gods. It's kind of like Game of Thrones, but with more magic and furry traps. Ne Zha was born during the chaotic final years of the Shang dynasty, a time filled with wars, divine power struggles, and supernatural forces clashing for control. His mother, Lady Yin, carried him for a staggering 3 years and 6 months before finally giving birth. Not to a crying baby, but to a mysterious ball of flesh. "Mamma mia!" said his father, the formidable commander Li Jing, allegedly. Then he did what any reasonable father would do. He slashed the meatball open with his sword. And just like that, Ne Zha burst out, fully formed, standing on his own 2 feet and already brimming with supernatural powers. I guess it was a good thing they didn't have guns back then. Recognizing his potential, the Daoist immortal Tai Yi Zhenren took Ne Zha as a disciple, training him in the ways of magic and combat, with the hope that Ne Zha could become a powerful servant of his Taoist sect one day. He gave the young Ne Zha 2 powerful weapons. The first was the red armillary sash, a silk-like sash that could bind powerful enemies and act as a whip. The second was called the Universe Ring, which could expand or shrink at will and was capable of smashing through mountains. Ne Zha also possessed the power of the Samadhi true flames. These flames were a lot more powerful than your regular oxygen combustion reactions. These were nuke-level fires that could disintegrate living creatures in an instant. To give you an example, the great sage Sun Wukong, who fought against the heavenly army, was not able to handle the heat from these flames in Journey to the West. And so it seems that with his divine strength and unstoppable spirit, Ne Zha was born to shake the heavens. Except, he was still just a child. Besides having immense powers while his frontal lobe was barely formed, Ne Zha also had the perfect combination of parental guidance to raise him into a well-adjusted adult, by which I mean a walking nuclear reactor with daddy issues. His mother was overly doting and let him do whatever he wanted. His father was more absent than oxygen on the moon, only showing up when it was time to yell at him. And his teacher, Tai Yi Zhenren, he just gave Ne Zha more destructive powers while he was still in diapers. To top it all off, Ne Zha was constantly told that everything he did was simply destined to happen, which of course included the destruction of buildings and personal properties. So Ne Zha never really learned to control his strengths and emotions. This led him to create chaos even when his intentions were good. And just like that, Ne Zha was set up for the events that were about to come. One day, as Ne Zha played in the sea, his powers sent shockwaves that shook the Dragon Palace of the Eastern Sea. The old Dragon King sent his son Ao Bing to stop him. In some other versions, Ne Zha wanted to teach the dragons a lesson for demanding human sacrifice. In either case, Ne Zha ended up killing the Dragon Prince and took his tendon to make a belt for his father. Ne Zha knew he was in trouble and decided to calm himself down with a little archery practice. He somehow found a set of legendary bow and arrow and shot the arrow straight through the heavens and into the chest of a rock demoness's acolyte, adding another angry celestial figure to the growing mob that was mad at Ne Zha. The old Dragon King then led an army of seafood and other gods to Chentang Guan, where Ne Zha lived, and threatened to flood the entire city with everyone in it if they didn't hand over the boy. In this version of the story, Ne Zha's father was a coward and refused to help him in any way. In his mind, Ne Zha only ever brought dishonor upon the family, so he didn't really care what happened to him, as long as his own life and reputation were safe. His mother could do nothing to protect him, so she just cried. But despite their failures as parents, Ne Zha still felt unconditional love for them, as most children do. In the end, Ne Zha decided to surrender, but it would be on his terms, and they were not going to take him alive. The young boy returned his body to his parents, an act that was meant to repay them for giving him life and to cut off their familial ties so that his parents would not be punished for his actions. It is said that he carved the flesh from his own body and then dismembered the bones. The pain must have been unimaginable. He was just 7 years old at the time. Seeing that Ne Zha was gone and his son avenged, the Dragon King and his army retreated. But this was not the end of our hero. During the night, Lady Yin dreamt of her son, whose spirit could not peacefully pass on to the afterlife because he had died so young and in such a violent manner. He begged his mother to build a temple for him where his spirit could rest. His mother was ecstatic that her son was not truly dead and secretly built a temple in his honor. When his father found out, he smashed the statue of Ne Zha and destroyed the temple. This caused an undying rage to boil up inside Ne Zha, who vowed to kill his father, as he saw him for the terrible person he really was. His teacher Taiyi Zhenren eventually revived Ne Zha and forged him a new body using lotus roots. He also gave Ne Zha two powerful weapons: the fire-tipped spear that could cause unimaginable destruction, and the wind-fire wheels that enabled him to fly. After his resurrection, Ne Zha sought out his father for revenge. Being no match for his son, Li Jing went to the Buddha for help. The Buddha gave him a magical pagoda, capable of sealing away demons and yaoguais, with each level of the tower housing golden Buddha statues. He then told Ne Zha to see these kind-eyed Buddhas as his new spiritual father, hoping they would fill the void in his heart that had fueled so much rage. Perhaps Ne Zha found some comfort in these Buddhas, because in the end he gave up on taking his father's life and could be seen fighting by his side in many stories such as Journey to the West. Or maybe it's just because the pagoda could capture Ne Zha in an instant before he could so much as kick the old man. As Fengshen Yanyi reached its conclusion, Ne Zha ascended as a god in the Daoist pantheon, honored for his crucial role in overthrowing the tyrant king of the Shang dynasty and defeating the fox spirit who bewitched him. From a rebellious child who defied heavenly authority to a warrior who shaped the destiny of nations, Ne Zha's journey was never about obedience. It was about breaking free from the chains that tried to control him. Ne Zha's explosive temper and the events that led to his death did not occur by accident. In the end, it was all planned by the Taoist sect that sought to use Ne Zha as a weapon. And though his legend may have ended in Fengshen Yanyi, his spirit of defiance and determination continues to inspire readers and storytellers to this day. This is not the end of Ne Zha's story, it is just the beginning. Subscribe and join us for more tales from the Ne Zha universe.
许你个鸟命！老命由我不由天，是魔是仙，我自己说了才算。